Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Monday morning podcast for Monday. Oh, what the fuck? I thought it was March 30th, March 29th. Jesus Christ. This month's never going to end. I'm telling you right now, every year you're just like, oh my God, the year is flying by. I know I've said this a million times, but I cannot stress enough how slow the month will go by. If you're not partying at all, if you're straight edge, if you're just sober just slows it down. You know, you go from watching full court fast break basketball to a pitcher's duel. Actually, a pitcher's duel kind of goes quicker, doesn't it? The strike, well, unless they're mowing people down. I don't know what it is. All I know is it's taken a long time. All right, and I almost smoked a cigar yesterday. My wife gave me the green light. We were hanging out, right? We were having a good time, and weed is legal out here, man. So my wife went into a store and bought herself a doobie, man. And she's like, isn't your cigar bar across the street? Isn't there a cigar bar? I was like, why, yes, there is. She goes, why don't you meet me over there? So I say, okay. So I go in there and I start browsing. And I'm smelling the smells, right? And there's all these fucking guys. Not a lot of guys, but there's people in there smoking cigars. And they're cigar smokers. So they're cool. They're not talking. They're just smoking their cigars, just fucking chilling, watching a game, right? Cigar bars, right? It's where adults go until the broads show up, and then it gets fucking late. And the second they show up, it becomes another thing, unless they're cool, which, in fairness to the broads, like, there's very few cool guys. And I'm going to say that I'm a cool guy the way that all of these white people are just saying that they're woke because they said so. Okay? If you can say you're woke, then I can say I'm cool. If that's how the game's played. If I am whatever you say whatever I say I am, I'm going to do a remix of the Eminem song. So I go in there and I start browsing, right? And then the owner comes in. Hey, haven't seen you here in a while. I'm like, hey, I kind of been laying it off. He's like, hey, I got a great cigar for you to come back to. And I was like, hey, why don't you show me what it is? Because I was looking at one of those little, one of the nubs there. My favorite little fucking afternoon one there, the little Connecticut nub, right? So he goes, I got something for you. I got some, this, see this cigar? This is the cigar you want, blah, blah, blah. And I'm holding it in my hand, smelling it. It's right there, right? Fucking paying for the crack, right? Whatever, the heroin, I'm tying off I'm getting into it. And then I'm just like, you know what? No, I can't do this. I only got a couple more days. I said I was going to fucking do it. I'm going to fucking do it. And I just left. You know what I did? I got a soda. Or a pop, if you're from the Midwest. And I went into, he let me sit. I've spent enough fucking money in there. He let me hang and drink a fucking Coke. Then my wife came over, you know what I mean? She took a couple of puffs. Yeah, we were hanging. We just had like the best day. I was driving my old truck, which I just got fixed. I had a problem with the steering, power steering or whatever. The steering assembly, it's been leaking forever and sort of fixed it. Those old fucking trucks, there's always something leaking. But I was driving around and there was a guy, actually my wife Instagrammed it. There was this guy in front of us, had like, I think a Lamborghini, and the license plate said, "You're weak," which I thought was funny. I mean, are you really being arrogant? I mean, you got a fucking Lamborghini. You got to talk a little shit, right? And then he had like the aluminum foil wrap on it on the outside where, if you stand at this angle, it's gold. If you're at that angle, it's silver. And he's cranking the stereo. It's fucking hilarious. He's in like stop and go traffic just going, whum, 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 whum. Whum, 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 whum. Oh, fucking hilarious. And, of course, I was fucking laughing, just going, oh my God, look at me. Acknowledge that I'm here, right? So I was a couple of cars behind, and I actually saw this older guy was there. He said, you know what, I'd rather have that old truck than that fucking Lamborghini. That made me feel good, right? We just had a great day. Then we went out, we got lunch. I had a great day hanging with my wife. And I didn't fuck up. I've kind of, I was doing well with the food. I tried to go like plant-based. And last weekend I made a fucking chocolate malt. And I'm telling you, the food's a drug. I fucking went back to the crack pipe. And then this week I was just like, I lost a good 6 pounds. And you know what? I think I put them all back on. I didn't have the fucking courage to get back on the scale, But I did a show last night. Somebody took a picture and I saw my belly was pushing out, You know what the worst thing? Even the second you get just a little bit of a gut, it makes your pecs look like man tits. You just can't have your stomach pushing your t-shirt out. If that's happening, then you got to upgrade to the button down. And if it's still happening, then you got to get a sweater. And it never fucking ends. You just got to keep adding layers. So whatever. I'm starting from a better place than I did the last time. It's just I can't fucking lose weight unless I'm doing cardio. Whatever that guy on YouTube, cardio burns fat, right? No. Whatever the fuck he's talking about, I don't know. Maybe I'm an alien, but it works for me. It works. It works for me. Remember Bobby and Whitney? I got to get an elliptical in my life or something like that. Or because even when I just walk up the hills out here, there are plenty of parks and shit, and do the stairs. You just don't burn as much calories, I don't think, unless you're on like a fucking elliptical, because it's essentially I'm running without pounding my feet and my knees. I'm just wearing out my hips. So anyway, I just had a fucking awesome weekend. I did a couple of really fun shows. I worked 3 nights in a row. I did a show Friday night at Supernova is what they call it. I did a show there, and then I did my what the hell was the show? I did my Australia New Zealand show. I had a fucking great time doing that. And I got to work with Al Delbeni, who I started off with, who was the funniest I've ever seen him. So I can't imagine how funny he is in front of an actual like live crowd, because there is sort of like that delay as you're doing it, just a little bit. But like he was so goddamn funny, and he had this bit about speaking of hip replacements. He got a hip replacement, and they gave him some pills, and it caused him to fall off the wagon. And it's the best shit I've ever seen him do, and I've known him for almost 30 years. And it was so good. We got to talk via the Zoom thing right before we got caught up a little bit. I just miss that guy. I fucking love him to death, man. So if you're down under and Al Delbeni is performing anywhere, go see that guy. Absolutely fucking hilarious. He's a good cunt, whatever the fuck you say down there. Thank you to people in New Zealand who also showed up. It was cool seeing you guys hanging out in your living rooms and all that type of shit, seeing what you were laughing about, what you weren't. I will admit, towards the end, I thought I was kind of bombing, but what happens is when people are too loud next to their microphones, they start to mute people. So in the end, I thought I was like bombing, but then I got all these texts saying, no, man, you killed. So I was relieved that it went well. And somebody had a dog that was like barking or something in the other room, so they couldn't figure out who it was, and they never quite got to him. So, but it wasn't barking nonstop, but it was still, it was a lot of fun. Yeah. So, anyway, so my truck's fixed. I had to talk my wife into riding it. She bounces around too much. It's like, come on, man, it's the weekend. Get to take my fucking good-looking woman out, This is what it is. Come on. She's like, all right. I had a great time. It was cool. We pulled up to the restaurant, and, my truck shifts 3 on the tree. So I was like, you know how to drive, like, shift on the column? He goes, I do, but why don't you just back it up right here? And he gave me that little thing, that little, where they don't valet it, they let you leave it in front of it, that little extra fucking, thing. Made me feel cool, and I got out, and of course I quote Goodfellas, right? I walked by, my wife's like, they're going to let you leave it right there? I said, yeah. And I looked at her and I go, it was out of respect. So, of course, she rolls her eyes. Oh, God, and goes in. She liked it. She liked that. I got to fuck. I like to think she did. Anyways, isn't that what every toxic fucking person says? Isn't that their catchphrase? She liked it. Sorry. plowing ahead here. So, and then lastly, I finally got all of these pictures that I had. I finally just got somebody to come over here, put them up, and then put my TV where it needed to be so I could get my stereo. I bought a hi-fi, man, and my speakers are on either side of the table underneath the stereo. I'm so fucking psyched! And you know what kills me? I've been waiting to do that for like 2 years. Not 2 years because I got the stereo last year, but like I knew it was fucked up the second I got in here. And I just, for some reason, I just kept thinking, oh, fuck, they're going to come in here. This is going to take forever. These guys were done in like under 2 hours. And I finally, I got this cool picture of me and Patrice. I got one of me and DeRosa. And then I got this big space on my wall. And there's a good photographer out here. And I'm going to get one of me, Verzi, and Bartnick. Next time we do a show or whatever, smoking cigars or some shit, I'm going to get a cool black and white one. And then I got to get one of myself and my wife, and then one of me with the whole family. And then I'm good. I got my parents over in the corner. It's fucking, the whole thing came together. Just had a great weekend, right? And just when the weekend couldn't get, and then I had another show. Call them old Billy shows this weekend. I did a show at the Rose Bowl. Not in the Rose Bowl. We were at the Rose Bowl. So we were in the lawn, as my dad says, the lawn. Christ, did you mow the fucking lawn? Well, why not? Well, it's just like your studies. You're fucking off. Oh, Christ, you're just like your mother. We were on we had the lawn area on the side where you could actually see where it says the Rose Bowl, and it was nice enough that they lit it up for us. And I hadn't been out there since the Rose Bowl in 2020, January, before all this bullshit happened. And it was cool to be there sober for the first time possibly ever. And I was backstage and stuff, and there was, there was some stuff, I could have partaked in, and I didn't. Didn't have any booze, didn't have any weed. Hey, you can microdose these, and I was just like, no. I started to feel like I was an airplane, when the guy's trying to walk through the airport, and the Hare Krishners, and everybody's coming up to him, and he's just throwing them out of the way. It was really fun, but the people that sponsored it was I wish I knew the name of them, really cool weed company or whatever. And I guess they got the best vaporizer ever out there. So I got that for my wife. But it felt good. And they said, you want some weed? And I said, no, I don't smoke weed. It felt good to say that, all of that shit. No, I don't drink. So I think I'm going to try to do this again next month. Now, here's the thing. I am not done forever with booze. Maybe booze. I don't know. But any of this shit. But I am done using it the way I was using it. Where I was using it as a way to numb pain. It's all right, I need to figure out what I'm upset about, and I need to fucking address it with an unaltered mind, figure out what it is, forgive whatever the hell it is I did or whatever somebody did to me, and let the shit go, and then come back strong and start partying for the right reasons. That's what I'm going to do. So anyway, I watched Racing King. Oh, let me talk about, I didn't even talk about the Rose Bowl show. So it was like 700 people in cars. And the crowd was fucking amazing, even though you couldn't hear 90% of them. Fortunately, there was some people with pickup trucks and people who were sitting outside, and they were laughing. They were kind of down front, so I could sort of play off of them. But I am not going to lie to you, dude. It was, there were moments where, if I didn't make those two little pockets of people laughing, it just, I was joking. I felt like I was in a sci-fi movie, and I was pleading for my life in front of this unsympathetic board of whatever they were that I couldn't quite see. But it was a real fun show. David Spade was out there, Jeff Ross, some younger comics that I met. This one guy, a former Marine, coming up. His last name was Simpson. I forget his first name, but just met a lot of cool people out there. Adam Egett was there. all of the Shores. Paulie, Peter, and Scott were all there. It was great. Everybody got, tested, rapid tested, so you could fucking hang out. I still wore the mask, So, but I went up there, had a great time, and then I got to bring up one of my favorite comics of all time, Ian Edwards, who has an amazing special called Ian Talk, and it was great. I had a great fucking time. Great goddamn weekend.